It's your favorite show of the week where Davis and Liam talk through best ball, argue about things, lift each other's spirits up, put each other down. We're going to do resurrection draft after we get into talking about best ball. It's my birthday today, so be sure to like the video, subscribe to Davis and I's channels. Maybe check out Liam Teaches Chess, a chess channel I launched. Davis, how you doing today, though?
I'm doing all right. You know, I am advancing more teams in Best Ball Mania 5 than Soccer Dave. So, like, I hope that's the line. Happy birthday to you. The Bills didn't really give you much of a birthday present. I was tilting right there with you, Liam. I could not believe that trick play. What are McDermott and Brady? Are they just mega minds? Is that the deal? Are they just true mega minds?
I'm gonna be honest with you. When you start the broadcast by again talking about Damar Hamlin dying on the field, I knew it was a bad omen for like anytime that like a national broadcast has been like, you know what we're gonna highlight here?
Isn't that every national?
The safety who's gonna be benched for the second, like we drafted a safety in the second round, so it's especially bad because like Hamlin is going to be benched for this second round safety eventually. Like he's not gonna start the whole year. But no, like to be real, like I didn't mind the concept of the trick play. The execution was awful. And yeah, it really killed the momentum where the Bills were down 11, driving the field, like moving the ball pretty effortlessly all night, I thought. And then, yeah, you turn the ball over there and the game's just effectively over. Is what it is. Get them the next one. Bills are surprisingly road favorites. They opened as plus 1.5 and now it's been bet down to -1 against the Texans. But Davis, I think we got to start the show. We were talking a little bit back show where, okay, I think this week was both very good for you and obviously there's some bad. The Rashee Rice is the bad. And I was telling you backstage, hey, what about us Christian Watson drafters? Like we exist too, you know, where like the lack of Christian Watson is a boon to you. Like we're going to pull up some combinations here where I'm sure you have combinations of Worthy, Wicks, Chase
6.
Brown without Rice. Without Rice.
Oh, like, I didn't check without Rice, but I believe I have 6 Worthy, Wicks, Brown teams, which really shouldn't be that surprising because that's kind of what I went into every draft attempting to do. So no, maybe the number Wicks 6 is like, too low.
Like Wicks is like a borderline lock to me this week in DFS at 5K, unless you want to lock Jaden Reed at 6,500.
They might both be locks. If the Packers, so like it's hard to tell what is game state and what is not, but both in week 1 and in week 4, they were, even though the games called for it, they were still, positive PROE. So
yeah, like
that's my read. That's what I think they want to do. I correct me, tell me your thought. I think Matt LaFleur, and I actually don't know the name of their OC. I think they looked at the offense in the offseason and they said, we got this young quarterback. We have all these crazy wide receivers. We have 2 tight ends we like. Sure, let's sign Jacobs because we do need a running back. Let's take Marshawn Lloyd because we do need running backs. But let's just put the ball in the air and see what happens. And then obviously they have to call the audible midseason with Blake Willis.
I think if that game fails from a passing game perspective, we're going to look back and be like, you know what? The Packers were down 28-0.
And they just
like the Bears the week before, where the Bears ran 90 plays and passed it 55 times. So there is a little bit of like, okay, let's regress this to a normal game script. What does that look like? But yeah, like, I mean, Jordan Love is just that dude. I agree. Let's share my screen here, pull some things up. First of all, Davis, I'm sure people have heard, but walk us through the difference between the 1 p.m. games where, I mean, I was the one telling you, I don't think Chase Brown's dead. I don't think Dontavian Wicks is dead. You know, like you tend to neg your bags a little quick. I told you, I don't think Rico Dowdle's dead. Rico
Dowdle's pretty dead. Rico Dowdle got a touchdown. Rico is pretty dead.
He's less dead than Zeke, but Hunter Luke popping out of nowhere is dead. But just walk the people through the whiplash of you get the Wicks touchdowns, you get the Chase Brown touchdowns, and then Mahomes.
Oh,
takes
I'm
out
on
Rashee
top of
Rice.
the world. I'm on top of the world. I'm like, all right, this is all coming back. Barkley kind of sucks in that game. I didn't have any Barkley in DFS. Like, would Barkley get an underdog like 15 or something?
And he was like
Maybe.
wide open for a touchdown, like
Yeah.
like an 80-yard reception touchdown if he went there.
Kamara is kind of like struggling in that game. Like he ended up getting the touchdown, but didn't have any
Yeah,
like
he
big
did get
plays.
one.
So I'm like, dude, this is all turning around. It's my year. All my theses are hitting at a good
Jefferson
time.
scored another touchdown. Like he continues to score touchdown every week.
Yeah, I think Jefferson has. I think he's probably the 101 if you're doing the resurrection. It's just like
he's not my 101, but we'll get there.
He just is unbelievable. And then first play of the Chiefs, or I guess it was the second drive.
Well, first off, Mahomes looked like really, really bad interception too, right? Like not one where we're like
he does one every week. I mean, every week he throws one of the worst. I've been working on this theory. I think that last season, them winning the Super Bowl, worst thing that could ever happen to them. I think that the psychic scars for Reid and Mahomes and those guys of having to win the way they want. It's like, yeah, you won, but at what cost? They had to go to a darker side of themselves, and they like can't shake it. They like can't go back to being fun and tossing the ball around.
They should trade with the Dolphins, man. Just trade for Tyreek again. Give him a second round pick back.
I'm just saying, dude. I'm just saying. That Adams is obviously much more possible because Adams just doesn't want to play for the Raiders anymore.
We'll get there. I don't think it is that likely for the Chiefs, but yeah. So the Rashee Rice hit happens, and like, is this like a drain the color from your face? Are we coping at first that I see Christian Watson get rolled back, and I'm like, not great, man, because like I understand
he's not even going on IR, man.
I know, but like Watson was a risky bet. Like I knew that going into the year. Like I knew like maybe he gets squeezed out as 4. I still think he would be number 2 of the Packers if he didn't get rolled up on, but he did. And so I'm like, man, like I just want to see it for a couple of games with a healthy Jordan Love. Like we don't have Love. Now Love's back. Now no Watson. Like just a bummer.
The sample of Packers offense with Kraft as the starting tight end, Love being healthy, and post Wicks breakout. So after the back half of last season, we don't have a game of it.
Yeah,
we have one game. We have week 1, but that was played on the shitty field. So it's like we really have basically no sample of Love healthy, Kraft as the starting tight end, Watson healthy, Reid healthy, post Wicks breakout. Like we have the sample of that is 0.
And
so
I think like if anyone's going to go to 0 and everyone's healthy, it's got to be Dobbs. Like maybe he'll be subbed in on the red zone, but
there's just something coaches just in any scenario you can lay out, Dobbs leads them in snaps and routes, not in targets, but in snaps and routes.
Okay, so maybe he's like the best blocking wide receiver, which gets you on the field. If
he's Matt Collins.
He's so Matt Collins. Dude, when Khalil Shakir went down to injury to start that game, and I looked at a wide receiver room of Matt Collins, MVS, Keon Coleman, and a still not healthy Curtis Samuel in my mind, I was like, oh no, like these Bills wide receivers, it's not gonna get, like this is like a mini reset year for the Bills. They got like, tens of millions of dollars of dead cap due to like the Stephon Diggs stuff and whatnot. But yeah, it would be like if the Bills miss Shakir or Kincaid, I think it's really rough for them. I guess let's talk about the trade first before we even get into these best.
Well, hold on. We have a question. We have people are maybe fundamentally misunderstanding the Dobbs thing. Let me present my screen to you real quick so that people can see the Dobbs so they can understand. Like Romeo Dobbs is just giga ass. Like he just is he has worse yards per attempt than Luke Musgrave with Jordan Love.
I'm not seeing a share screen on my end from you.
Okay.
Whatever. Let's move on. The Dobbs thing, not that important. On the I don't think Devontae Adams is likely to be traded for the when I think of the Chiefs, like a direct replacement for Rashee Rice, I think of a guy like Christian Kirk, a guy like Jakobi Meyers, like these guys who are, slot wide receivers plus. I don't really think of Devontae Adams, especially because he's old. Of course, the Raiders would prefer not to trade with the Chiefs. Do you think the Chiefs trade for someone? And if so, who do you think they trade for?
Darius Slayton,
God,
Darnell
man.
Mooney, maybe
Slayton?
not even Mooney. Yeah, it's not gonna be someone I think it's pretty unlikely that we get a Devontae Adams, a Tyreek Hill, like a block. Amari Cooper maybe is the most likely one because
But
they
he's also
converted.
not he's not a Rashee Rice guy, he is a outside wide receiver.
Do turn Xavier Worthy into that. Turn Xavier Worthy into the short area guy. Let him get the yak, which is what Rice was adding anyways, and then have Cooper replace those empty calorie Justin Watson routes. Like obviously Watson will still out there, but then Watson goes to like super zero. Or play a bunch of 12. Do Amari Cooper, Xavier Worthy, Noah Gray, Travis Kelce. Do that.
That's like what the Rams did for 1 week. I could and hey, man, maybe you buy a Rams piece, like if the Rams, I don't know, the Rams strike me as unlikely to trade away a guy, even like a Tutu, because, McVay probably retires, Stafford probably retires if they're not a playoff team. So why would they trade away pieces? But okay, first round pick advance rates. CeeDee Lamb, I still think it's going higher. CMC obviously will fall. Tyreek Hill, kind of surprised he's still hovering at market here with only 1 good week out
Well,
of
at
4.
least he's active, I guess.
Yeah, well, and I think it's just look, we're through 4 weeks. He also probably correlated with Saquon at a decent clip where Saquon would fall to the back end there. Ja'Marr Chase, Ja'Marr Chase versus Jefferson. Okay, Jefferson had that 99-yard reception in the air, but I don't think Jefferson has in his bag of tricks like the play that Chase scored on, where he just catches a 5-yard slant and bounces off a guy and runs it in. That's why I quite like Chase. It's just for that explosive game breaking.
The Vikings haven't even played a real game yet. Like when the
No, I
Vikings
agree.
when the Vikings start playing real games, it's going to be stunning. I think how
maybe they won't though, man.
Jefferson leads all of football in first read target share. Like he is the first read on every play.
As he should called. Be. And Chase's first read is interesting down this year, which maybe that is training camp related. But yeah, I think you're happy with Chase. He the Bengals are one of the
you're
Bengals
happy with Chase just because he's not dead.
Well, and the Bengals and the Seahawks are the only teams passing consistently. Amon-Ra to the end of time. I do think it's quite funny.
I feel bad about that one. I actually, based on the evidence we've seen, I think I might like St. Brown more than Chase, honestly. Because what's happened is Jamison Williams' breakout has broken Laporta. I kind of thought the JMO breakout would end up being bad for St. Brown, but it hasn't impacted his stuff at all. It's been really bad for Laporta.
I think you still prefer Chase because Chase is effectively competing with T. Higgins as another potential target dominant guy, and then everyone else is ancillary. Whereas the Lions are awesome, but it could be Gibbs, it could be Montgomery, it could be Amon-Ra, it could be Jamison, it could be Laporta. So
I like this idea that Joe Burrow is playing at a really high level when Joe Burrow is worse than his career averages in everything. What do people think Joe Burrow's career adjusted yards per attempt? It's just no one knows.
Joe Burrow's not playing terrible.
He's playing fine. He's playing fine.
He's not playing terrible. Bijan and Breece, man. Let's talk about these ones. So both of them saw their handcuffs play significantly this weekend. Would you rather have Bijan or Breece? And
Bijan for sure, because I think that Algier is a cromulent. He's a fine second running back. He's better than Ezekiel Elliott or Tank Bigsby or something like that. But he's not a build your offense around that guy. I mean, I think if Braylon Allen was on the Bengals or if Braylon Allen was on the Chiefs or something, this would be a guy who gets the ball 25 times. Like he would be like he would be, I don't know. He might be a first round, like running, like fantasy points over expected when they get the ball. Like if you told me he was getting 280 touches, he might be a first round pick. And Kenneth Walker, that's a comp. That's a Kenneth Walker with 280 touches.
He's not as explosive, but like Saleh was asked after the game, after Brees was stuffed at the 1 yard line a couple times. He said, like, the reporters asked, like, would you consider giving the ball to Braylon in those situations? And he said, yeah, we're going to look at that. So my guess is you're going to give the ball to the 235-pound back and tell Brees to stuff it for his feelings. Now Brees will still be fine. Like,
yeah, Brees, I'm not sweating it too much.
Yeah, he gets targets down the field. Only like really him and James Cook do I see getting like legitimate like 30 air yard targets down the field consistently. So he's going to score touchdowns in that way at times. He'll have huge games, but yeah, I think he's had like 3.1 yards per carry. So just kind of rough for him. And I mean, just like the 49ers running CMC into the ground, what were the Jets doing in a lost year, giving Brees Hall the ball like 40 times off of an injury with Zach Wilson in like a lost season? I don't know why you would do that, especially with no Rodgers out there. Maybe that's biting them a little bit here. Jefferson, I mean, honestly, it could even go up for him due to the correlation with the Packers pieces now that Jordan Love is healthy, but he's not going to score a touchdown every week. I keep on saying 25 weeks into the season after he's on a 25-game touchdown streak. AJ Brown, he's going to be playing after the bye.
He's going to go back up.
How down bad is Garrett Wilson?
He's going down. Garrett Wilson advance rate is going down. Garrett Wilson's going to have the same advance rate as Puka while being active. He's the wide receiver 39.
He's being out advanced by Tyreek and AJ Brown, who have both really only played one real game.
Well, having one real score before the buys and before the injuries. Now, actually, Garrett Wilson's advance rate probably goes up because once the buys start coming, then just like sometimes getting 9 points is valuable once buys and injuries start piling up, like just as your wide receiver 3 or whatever. But yeah, I mean, if I had Garrett Wilson bags, if I was a Garrett Wilson guy, and I don't think I have Garrett Wilson on a single high stakes team. I'm pretty sure I don't. I would feel dejected because I don't think it really gets that much better soon.
I think he's being pulled down due to the combinations of him and Puka Nacua, for example. Like that was a common back end combo to do. So like the pairing partners are impacting him negatively. I think he's going to be okay in the sense that he'll have big games. Sure. But now you get Mike Williams, who's going to be healthier. The Jets don't want to play fast. He's saying stuff to the media, such as like he's basically telling the media like, yeah, Nathaniel Hackett
sucks.
Which I don't know if that's going to help.
Well, it doesn't matter. That actually pissing off Hackett doesn't matter at all because the answer is exclusively what does Rodgers want. And the issue right now,
Rodgers likes Hackett. Rodgers really likes Hackett. So
he likes Hackett, but he likes winning more. I mean, I think we saw in that Denver game, like he was just like so pissed off. He was just like, God, this sucks. Like my teammates suck. Like all of this just sucks. Yeah. One thing I do regret, one thing I'll say is like, I really, really believed in Nico Collins. I pulled Nico up over Puka, but what I should have done was I should have pulled Nico ahead of Garrett Wilson. I actually think.
You know what's funny about that is back in when we did one of the pre-draft best ball drafts together, I think I wanted to go Nico there and you wanted to go Garrett Wilson. And I ended up with a lot of Nico with like 14%, but yeah, I mean, how could you not want Nico at a high?
You want to know a funny thing while we're talking about best ball advance rate? You know what contest I have the best advance rate in?
Big board, baby.
I'm advancing 35 teams in the big board, which is like way above average. And I think it's
insert that meme. They don't know I'm advancing 35 teams in week 4 in the big board.
And I think you know why it is. I have 65% Braylon Allen in that contest. I just took him every time. And like I just didn't have a ton of zeros. I have a lot of worthy, I like guys like that. And I think a lot of people take zeros in that contest. So I
Troy
really think,
Franklin was like a 10th round pick.
yeah,
You know, like,
yeah.
yeah, and I mean, honestly, I think like if Devontae Adams lands with the Jets, I could see that helping Garrett Wilson, just less defensive attention.
It just becomes a fun offense. You know, we've seen
Fun.
well, I mean, we've seen guys produce alongside Jordy Nelson. We saw guys produce alongside Adams with the Packers. Like it's yeah.
Shout out Christopher. I was taking it in post draft.
Yeah, I was not I mean, the Franklin thing is so funny.
I thought he was the worst pick on the board after the draft. Like when you have second round expectations and you fall to the 4th round to a bad team, I'm like, no, that's a 0.
But the shower narrative, dude.
Yeah, okay. Puka Nacua, I believe they said on the broadcast that we're going to see Cup in, I think Jay Glazer said this, we're going to see Cup in maybe 2 weeks and Puka Nacua after week 8. So I think you could still get there on both these bags. And then Gibbs is I'm kind of surprised Gibbs has a negative advance rate despite him scoring.
It's who he's paired with. He's going to be paired with. He's going to be paired with a lot of zeros at that turn. He's going to be paired with Puka. He's going to be paired with London. He's going to be paired with Marvin Harrison Jr. With Aiyuk. Even Debo, yeah, is a negative advance rate player because he hasn't been healthy.
Yeah, he's probably above, but okay. Moving on to the quarterbacks. Let's talk. So Josh Allen. Yeah, I think he's gonna be like. Right now, he's been QB1 2 of the weeks and QB 28 the other 2 weeks. And I think that's going to be kind of the story with him, maybe, where he is a little bit better in best ball compared to past years, just due to the heavy run-heavy nature of the Bills. And yeah, okay, they got destroyed by the Ravens, but the Ravens are a very unique team. But
they got destroyed by the Ravens because they had every ounce of momentum and could have won that game. And then Joe Brady called a fucking NCAA 25 trick play. I'm very mad about it because I had Josh Allen higher passing yards on a huge underdog ticket, like multiple thousands of dollars.
Kincaid, man.
I was about to do either Justice Hill over receptions, which hit on the first drive, or Josh Allen higher passing yards. So I just like, I am giga tilted at the Bills right now.
The other thing is the Bills don't have their top 2 linebackers, and so the Ravens they have the pieces to take advantage of that. The Texans are not built the same. Like the Texans are going to need to pass on the Bills, and that's where they're their outside corners are still strong. Jalen Hurts, man, like what round do you think Jalen Hurts is going in fantasy drafts next year? And do you think he's going to be fine? Like, are we going to be seeing the big games from him this year? Obviously, no AJ Brown, no Devonta Smith. They're a disaster without that. Saquon hurts fantasy value. Everyone's talking about Mahomes being disappointing, but I wouldn't call Hurts a slam dunk either as someone who drafted a lot of him.
No, Hurts is going to go way back up.
Yeah, you think he's going to have some big games?
He just played a game without AJ Brown and then a game without both of them.
Hurricane weather, Soccer Dave told us.
Hurricane weather. Yeah, it's gonna be fine. I also, just while we are talking about Josh Allen, I actually do want to give him a compliment and some hope for Bills bags. So the first thing is Curtis Samuel is healthy now, and I think they are going to move Mac Hollins to a reserve role and start playing Samuel more.
I think MVS will be phased out.
Sure. And then the other thing is, I am actually now a Keon Coleman believer. Like as a prospect, I was like, get this guy out of here. The Bills should do anything other than take Keon Coleman. He's a terrible fit. But after watching it in practice, I actually totally get why they made the pick and why it makes sense, which is like Josh kind of wants to just throw 40-yard bombs and give his guy a chance to win. And Keon is like kind of in his head right now and he's not there yet. I mean, he's 21 years old. Like I actually think there is like some upside for Keon Coleman having 8 touchdowns in the final 6 weeks of the season.
He's going to have some huge games. Like he had a killer drop at the end of the first half.
It was really, but
they
went back to him. They went back to him, which is so big.
Yeah. And honestly with you, they have to. Like, I think literally it's Kincaid, Shakir, Coleman, Curtis Samuel, I still don't think is fully healthy. He'll get there, I think. And then like, yeah, Matt Collins MVS, like absolutely not. So Keon Coleman, like he strikes me as better in best ball anyways, just because, you know, he's getting back shoulder catches 40 yards down the field. How replicable is that? Maybe not. But yeah, I would be encouraged with what we see from Keon. You know, like, okay, not a huge separator, but who cares? Like he is. I've kind of been saying he's like Bills George Pickens. You know, where like or Bills T Higgins, like that type of body type. Not a guy who's shaking you out of your boots.
T Higgins a very good comp, I think.
Mahomes. Probably going to go worse.
It's going to go down. Yeah, he's going to be like an 8% advance rate guy because he was being pulled up by Rice. Now, obviously, the other thing that could happen, this is sort of interesting, is
he could run more.
No, what happens if Kelsey ends up becoming a giga advance rate guy because there's no saving him. There's no, there's absolutely no like, we got to get to we'll let you go in the playoffs. It's like Pat's out there in the huddle and he's like, I got fucking Kareem Hunt and Sky Moore in the huddle with me right now. Like Kelsey is just getting the ball. So he could be pulled up because every tight end sucks. So Kelsey's advance rate goes up. Mahomes obviously is going to occur on Kelsey teams at a pretty high rate. So he could end up being an average guy. And it will also be benefited.
People like paired Chiefs pieces with Steelers pieces like for way too much.
Really bad. Yeah.
Really bad. I don't think that was good in practice. And like, okay, maybe we'll get bumped
Warren,
up by Kelsey, but like
maybe
Najee
Warren ends up bumping up.
Like Najee's like an anchor on you, a la like Rachaad White.
Dude, the Najee stuff from last week, I feel so stupid for using him like in a ton of DFS contests. Just being like, you turn the game on and you're like, oh no, it actually does. Like he could get 30 carries here. It literally doesn't matter.
I have CPAD on my top scoring marathon team. It must have been after Jaylen Warren was hurt. Lamar, honestly, I think this will go down. But he might just outpace these three quarterbacks, which would keep him high. It's going to go down because
Lamar is going to be really high because they don't give a shit about throwing the ball. They want to do is
run. Will go to Derrick Henry though. Like some weeks we're going to see Lamar literally score 6 points because it's just going to be Derrick Henry. Other weeks,
I think
like he scored a rushing touchdown. He's not going to do that every week.
Sure, I think this very hot start to the season. People are definitely forgetting that Derrick Henry's 30. Like the Dementor could come. The Dementor could come for Derrick Henry at any moment.
Yeah, like I mean, someone's chirping me like, okay, I'm advancing 16 teams. Thank you very much. That's 4 teams more than last week, but
I think I'm advancing literally 10.
We'll get to it, but the point to understand here is the first 3 weeks, like most offenses seemed out of sync. This week felt different, whereas like passing games seemed to gel. And when only like 3 people are scoring touchdowns, Saquon and Kamara, it's going to significantly tilt advance rates. I mean, Derrick Henry's literally a 40% advance rate guy right now. So is Saquon. Kamara's 50%. These numbers will not hold. Raheem Mostert was a 40% advance rate guy. And what did he score? Like 18 touchdowns at a 10th round cost. So I think Lamar could hold as if he's paired with Nico, but he's not. He's paired Lamar Andrews was a far more common combination with CeeDee Lamb and CMC. And people were not pulling him up the board like they should.
Andrews is so dead.
We'll get there. Richardson actually looked really good against the Steelers.
It's going down because you know what, man? I'm not like selling.
He looked good, man. He looked good until he got hurt.
Well, he looks okay. He can't make the easy throws, which is like a pretty big problem just for NFL teams.
But maybe Josh Downs is like gonna help with that. Like he didn't have Josh Downs. And the other thing I would say is like right now the Colts want to develop Richardson. Like they don't care about making the playoffs. They want to develop him. And midway through the season,
I don't know if
they might give up on that.
That's true.
They might be like, hey, Richardson, run 15 times a game. Like that's a different Richardson versus 3 scrambles,
Yeah. I mean, I think a real concern you'd have to have if you were a big Richardson drafter is he just cannot seem to protect himself. Like he just is continually letting linebackers, which is like a concern I had about Jaden Daniels, you know, like he just lets guys square him up far too often. I don't know.
A lesser quarterback than Josh Allen on that trick play would have been knocked out for the season. Like that like after he throws and he just gets leveled by the D tackle. Don't love to see that.
Yeah. I agree.
Stroud, I think it goes up. Okay, Diggs rushed in.
It goes up. It goes up once Dell starts to score some points.
Dell, yeah, it's being held down by Dell, who is going to be active this week. Kyler, man, like he's actually decent in EPA, but
he looks
I don't think
brutal, man.
I don't think the Cardinals are very good, and I think they really miss Trey McBride. Where Michael Wilson and Greg Dortch are just not like they're not legit NFL caliber players to me.
Dortch is totally fine as your PPR scam guy, but he can't be the second guy. He's got to be the
He's a poor man's Rondale Robinson, which is not a compliment as far as
so one thing I will say is I don't know how solvable this is, but like the issue is the offense actually looks pretty good early in every game when they can run because they have this great Shanahan zone blocking, Petzig is from that tree, but the defense is so bad that they just end up down 10 points in every game. And the defense is like, run all you want, brother. Like, we don't care. We're basically not defending the run. And so they get themselves into these 3rd and longs every series in the second half. And Kyler is, I don't know.
They are donkeys. They were number 1 rush rate over expected against the effing Commanders. Like, that's just
it's
stupidity.
Hard for me to parse that out because it's counting the like fourth quarter stuff when they're running every play consecutively.
When they were down 14-30, shouldn't. And maybe it's just a problem with Kyler. Maybe Kyler is not that guy like we've thought is.
I mean, my opinion from watching him is he is not breaking the pocket enough. Like that's kind of like his superpower is throwing on the run, breaking the pocket. And I don't know if it's because the offensive line is so bad. I don't know if Trey McBride missing less. Like, I don't know what it is, but yeah. And also, to be clear, like Marvin Harrison Jr. has been okay. Yeah, I mean, that crazy.
You would definitely draft Malik Neighbors over him.
You would definitely draft Malik Neighbors over him, but he has not been really explosive down the field. Like he's kind of more.
He scored a deep bomb on the Rams. It's not a scripted play where it's like that Kyler's creating and Marvin's like adjusting, but he scored deep against the Rams. He scored deep against the Commanders. So no, he's not Neighbors in the sense that he's able to like juke people out of their shoes. But he's he's an elite wide receiver still to me, Marvin Harrison.
Sure. But I'm asking, like what is like kind of his superpower, And I think it's maybe not exactly what this offense needs. Like this offense maybe could have been improved almost like and I'm not negging Marvin Harrison. I'm saying but like AD Mitchell, like running 17-yard post routes, like would have been really awesome to see in this offense. I probably am abandoning my priors too early on them. Like just give them some more time to cook, give them more time with McBride and Harrison together. Like I was pretty high on them and I don't want to sell my Cardinal stuff at like stone zero.
No, definitely. But like, okay, watching the Bills game, maybe it was win, but they literally didn't attempt a deep throw against them. Destroyed a bad Rams defense. Got beat by the Lions, no shame there. And then got boat raced by the Commanders and didn't attack their weakness. So, yeah, give them some time. Kyler maybe still returning from the injury a little bit too, just like mentally. But not looking great so far. Jordan Love, smash, didn't even play.
Probably goes up. Yeah.
Yeah, goes up.
What's going to go up because Reid is going to be a gig advance rate guy and Wicks is going to be a gig advance rate guy and Kraft. You probably got a lot of Kraft. I remember you being I liked him a lot in the big board. I tailed way off of him after the torn pec.
I was a Musgrave guy. That's not working. Burrow probably goes up Chase is not going to score 60-yard touchdowns every week.
T has been useless. So
and if Chase Brown goes up, Moss goes up, that will correlate with Burrow somewhat.
Who is their Week 17 opponent?
Broncos.
So that's not great. That's actually
I personally didn't correlate Broncos with them. I was just like the Bengals beat.
I took a lot of Javonte and Jaleel and Estime.
No, I was not with the brain trust on that one. I just thought the Broncos could be bad. Did take some Dulcich though. Dak probably goes down a little bit or up. Like
Lamb, Jake Ferguson.
Yeah, I mean Ferguson's going to be legitimately be tight end one. Lamb also is scoring touchdowns now. Caleb, man, like it's hard to be only a 10.5% advance rate guy at his cost. My assumption here is people drafted Caleb in 2 QB rooms. So they drafted Caleb as if he's going to be a star, and he's just frankly not right now. Missing throws, doesn't look good. I'm done with the Bears until I see the breakthrough. Like I played some Rome last week.
No, I'm gonna be the slappy. I'm gonna be.
You're gonna do it. All right.
Well, just every week. Like every week, I'll take a couple of them in BR. I'll do the $27 single entry with Caleb and Rome. Like because when it happens, like I
did it 2 weeks ago against the Colts, the double stack without Keenan. Like it felt better without Keenan in there. With Keenan in there, it's like you could even guess wrong. It could be Komet. Yeah. Hell, it could be DeAndre Swift. Jaden Daniels. I mean, I'm surprised this isn't higher.
How is it not like 40%?
I guess it's because the Atlanta correlation, like all the Atlanta pieces suck.
And McLaurin sucks too.
He scored 2 touchdowns now, so that's not sucking at a 5th round cost. But Drake London and Bijan are probably pulling down Daniels somewhat. And also, it's just hard for any quarterback to be like 40%. Like Justin Fields scored 30. If that doesn't happen, maybe Daniels is higher. Moving on, let's look at the tight ends here. So Laporta, like, I mean, he looks good when he touches the ball, but it's just, the Lions are a tough offense. Kelsey could go really up without, like, ESPN Open Score, still really kind to Kelsey. I think he's number 1 in ESPN Open Score, so he should be fine. Turned in his expected fantasy points was like 8 or something, but he turned in like a 16 PPR point day. He's going to go super up if they need to depend on him without Rice. Like if this is like Worthy and Justin Watson running clear outs.
Yeah, Kelsey could get to like a 30% advance rate, because if you just like if all the guys around him bust and he gets to 11.5 half PPR points per game, I mean, it's pretty like it's like Kyle Pitts is going to be like a 3% advance rate player. Like he's going to be.
He's
like
actually
Kyle Pitts is going to be basically the worst non-injury pick in fantasy.
Over under a 15 round draft pick for Kyle Pitts next year.
Higher. The slappies absolutely never. And it'll be me. I mean, you're telling me that Kyle Pitts is going to be the Luke Musgrave price next year and I'm not going to have 20%? Like, of course I will. And I don't even think he's good. Like, I'm completely our buddy Jacob Sanderson posted some college clips of Kyle Pitts the other day on his Twitter. Like, he went back and dug them up, and I was like, my God, I barely even remember him looking like that. I think he sneakily got fat. I think
it's the injury. I think the injury zapped him. Like, and we just we didn't understand it. Injury, like, also your mental health can like really go to zero if you're suffering through injury. Like, it's probably that.
And if you're Kyle Pitts, who's been like the GOAT every time he stepped on the field, and he has 1,000 yards as a rookie on this shitty team, and he just has Justin.
You were drafted over Ja'Marr Chase. You're hearing that from the media. You're hearing about Arthur Smith and everything. You're hearing about about this is your year. Mark Andrews. I mean, the only hope here for the Andrews people, which I was not, is that Tony Pollard was fine at the end of the season, and you hope it's just tightrope. I think that you need to run a double parlay where not only do you need Andrews to be healthier, but you also need to catch the Ravens in a passing game script, like for any of their passing game pieces to hit. He dropped probably like a 20-yard catch against the Bills. So I still think we'll, maybe he'll get 4 touchdowns on the season. I don't think he's a pure zero, but for the time being, it is not great for Andrews. Trey McBride wasn't healthy.
I'll give one more cope on Mark Andrews. One
Sure.
more cope. And I don't even believe this, but I'll say it. So theoretically, if he's being asked to run block a ton, that should mean he will be in the red zone packages for run blocking. He might luck in to 3 touchdowns in one of the playoff weeks.
Yeah, like Dawson Knox does.
Yes. Like that, like his upside is the same weekly upside as Dawson Knox randomly running in to some play action touchdowns. That's the only hope. And Pitts doesn't even have that hope because he doesn't even run block.
No, Pitts is a catch a Hail Mary type. Like he's a he's a better best ball guy anyways. McBride was hurt. Also, ESPN Open Score not too kind to him. Don't think we care about that on such a small sample. Probably will be fine.
I would be buying, like, if there was like a fantasy stock market and I could buy Trey McBride at, like, so if he's a 14% advance rate, that means you knock his stock down 10% or whatever. I would be buying at a 10% discount on Trey McBride stock.
Yeah, like I think you're still happy to have McBride. Kincaid, I think you're still happy to have as well. And you're disappointing that in a trailing game script, he only ran like 60, 70% of the routes, when Matt Collins and MVS is out there. He's had as far as he's actually had catches of 25 yards, catches of 26 yards in back-to-back games. So he is used in a deep A-dot role at times. I think the touchdowns will be there, but the dream of him being, just like the number one guy on the Bills, far and clear, doesn't seem that likely. But now you get games against the Texans, the Jets, maybe some more shootouts. So Kincaid, you're at least happy to have Kincaid compared to Andrews. I think you'd rather have Kincaid than Laporta. I think, I guess without Rashee Rice, you put Kelsey 1, and then the order as far as McBride, Kincaid, Ferguson, Bowers, Njoku, Kittle. I told you I thought Kittle was tight in 1.
No, still Bowers.
I would easily have Kittle over Bowers for touchdown equity. Bowers
without
you
Mr. Aiyuk, man.
Yeah, the thing I like about Aiyuk is that he's a 49er. I know they're going to have passing game touchdowns, and they get the Lions, a passing game or a defense I wanted to pick on, which looks correct. You can't run on the 49ers that well unless you're Kenneth Walker. But you can't pass on them.
I'm sorry, dude. I can't let this fly. Dalton Kincaid is just not good. Dalton Kincaid is on a
from the Mark Andrews drafter. Maybe you need to sit out the discussion of who is.
No, Andrews is dust. I was wrong. But Kincaid.
Why is Kincaid not good his second year?
Kincaid, I mean, he might be a fine player, but the system that the Bills want to run is just not set up to give him a lot of fantasy points because he now has actually a similar problem to Kelsey, which is that Shakir is starting to take some of the short area stuff.
But you drafted the old, so I don't know about your tight end evaluation where, you're
Andrews is
Kelsey.
Andrews is just dust.
Andrews is dust. He had tightrope. I think we could have foreseen this. Kelsey, you're getting real lucky with Rashee Rice. I think he would have been okay anyways. Kincaid is still attached to the Bills. He's going to score probably 5 to 6 touchdowns. He's going to have some big games. He is just as live as Trey McBride. Why is Trey McBride good and Kincaid bad? Because you like the Cardinals? The team
Trey McBride's more explosive, higher first read target share.
We don't have a combine on Kincaid, so we can't really cite that. But
Windhorst, why did Dalton Kincaid not do the combine, Liam?
I don't know, man. Pull up your NFL All-Pro and look at the routes he's run. He's running deep.
I think Kincaid is fine. I'm not saying he's a bad player. He's certainly not Kyle Pitts. But I think he's just I don't know. I think he's Jake Ferguson on.
Yeah, he's Jake Ferguson, Jake Ferguson on the Bills, and you hope the Bills have to throw touchdowns. And I don't know. I still think there's room for him to even grow to I think the Bills could look at their passing game this past week and be like, man, we got to stop with the MVS shit. Pitts, pretty dead.
Samuel playing more is not good for Kincaid. That's another duplicative skill set.
Well, Shakir might miss the game, unfortunately, but I don't know because
didn't he come back in?
Running deep. He's actually running like deep A-dot stuff. He's getting tight. He's getting schemed tight end screens, which is a nice like floor thing.
I think in your point, I think they actually are like pretty desperate to get him going. They keep throwing him multiple passes on their scripted drives. So their first 15 plays, they keep drawing stuff up for him. So to your point, they do want to get him going. I was out on Kincaid as a prospect. I was out on Kincaid last year. I was out on Kincaid this year. So I'm not a reliable narrator here. I've not seen anything. I've just not seen anything in the games to suggest that my take is
where would you rank
really
Kincaid
wrong.
as a tight end if you were ranking the tight ends?
I would do Bowers, Kelsey, McBride, Kittle. I think Kincaid next then. So tight end 5, right where he was drafted.
Tight end 5, exactly where he's drafted. Bad pick. Okay, so Bowers, I hate to break it to people, but we're not playing Dynasty. We're playing best ball this year. So no, Bowers is not tight end 1.
Yeah, yes. Liam, so this is going to be...
How many touchdowns? What is the over-under touchdown line on Bowers?
5.5.
Under. What's the touchdown line on Kittle?
5.5.
7.5, 8.5.
I would slam the unders on those.
Kincaid was hurt, to be clear. Like, he was hurt going into last year. That's why he didn't do the combine. No, Kincaid is a top 2 target on the Bills. I mean, if you want to include James Cook, top 3, whatever. He's going to be fine with Josh Allen. Like, if they didn't, even in that Ravens game, they had some flukiness where, okay, they turned the ball over on the trick play. That takes a drive away.
59% of the routes in that game.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. That's the number one thing they got to fix, and you hope that they reevaluate that. But
hey, I don't know if that is a thing to reevaluate, because I don't think Kincaid is this, like, I think, I'm not meaning to say he's bad like this. Like, I think Pitts is bad and not adding anything. But I think we are now entering into a fantasy players are bag defending Kincaid, being like, the team has got to use him more. They got to give him more routes, and he's not. I think really Kincaid has more touchdown
equity than Bowers, because I bravely think Josh Allen will throw for more touchdowns than the Raiders quarterbacks. That's pretty brave of me, but I think that.
Yeah, I think I would do $50 Bowers more touchdowns the rest of the season than Kincaid.
Total touchdowns at the end of the season?
Total touchdowns. Did either of them even have one yet? I don't think so, right?
No. So you're getting your money in bad.
Yeah, sure. Then I'll take Bowers.
All right. $50. Kittle, I think Kittle's a smash, and he was.
Kittle's a smash. Yeah.
Ingram just been hurt, so really no. And Kirk could be traded. I don't think it's likely, but it could.
It'll be this will be so funny to see what happens. Like, the Jaguars, like, if Doug Peterson gets fired, what happens to that whole offense?
Well, I think that's the thing about trying to trade with them, is that the GM's going to be fired too. So the GM is not interested in trading anyone. You need to call Shad Khan, the owner, and be like, hey, dude, we're trying to trade, but we think you're going to fire these guys. And they also are playing like back-to-back games in London. Also is a weird for a trade, where it's like, are you going to have the guy come back from London, or you don't want them to play those games? Ferguson, a smash in my mind.
Kincaid has a touchdown. You just look. So touchdowns moving forward. Kincaid already.
No, that's what I told you. I said, yes, he scored one. You're getting your money in bad. Total touchdowns.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll still win, but I don't care.
No, if we could do touchdowns going forward, whatever. I don't care. Jake
Ferguson goes up. Ferguson goes up.
Yeah. Bowers, I mean, maybe up, maybe down. I don't know. He's cheap enough.
It's gonna go up. He's gonna average. He might lead the tight end position in catches.
Well, he'll be really solid floor without Adams in my mind. But the Raiders could also just be a disaster of a team. Do you have a timeline on Njoku returning? Because I think he would
sounds like he might be back this week.
Yeah, he goes way up. He was looking good before the injury, and the Browns are one of the pass heaviest teams in the league. Goddard probably goes down.
It's gonna go way down. AJ Brown and Devonta Smith are both gonna be back this week, it sounds like.
Yeah, but he was a good pick regardless. Like, you have proof of concept.
Sure. Yeah.
Something you tweeted out I want to talk about is I thought Achane would maybe be quarterback proof. Not looking that way, man. How you feeling about the Dolphins pieces? How you feeling about Achane? Tua maybe returning week 8?
I think I feel totally fine about like the process with Achane. You know, it's like the proof of concept was there. He had 60 points after 2 weeks.
I agree with Clink here, just to interrupt, is that I think people are upset about their Andrews bags, so they're trying to take it out on Kincaid. Be woke to that, people. That's what's going on here.
I'm not upset about it. You just sometimes
No. Okay.
Sometimes you just lose.
I noticed a lot of people who tweet about Kincaid. If you look up their exposures, it's Andrews. So it's taking and it's the reverse for me, you know. But Achane, man, was looking like a league winner.
So the issue is, I think Tyler Huntley literally didn't know the plays last week. Like literally, like was going in the huddle. I think there were multiple instances based on how I understand football of Huntley not knowing the plays, going into the huddle, and then saying, Jalen Warren, Jalen Wright, I'm just gonna hand you the ball because I don't know the play.
Are we excusing Mike McDaniel a little too much here? Because
yes. Do your bit. I'm gonna die if I don't pee. Do your bit on Achane. I'll be right back.
Well, I mean, just on the Mike McDaniel thing, it's like it's weird on two fronts. Number one, I don't think Tua is good enough to make the Dolphins a really good team. I don't think the Dolphins were making the playoffs maybe regardless. I think they would have been fine for fantasy, but their defense is really just that bad. And, you know, the thing is, like, okay, we saw the Packers without their quarterback. We saw Andy Dalton running a functional offense. And so the Dolphins going to straight 0 without Tua is a little bit weak sauce, you know, like you can't scheme anything here. Why are only the Dolphins looking dead when Malik effing Willis is QBing a competent room?
McDaniel is definitely getting a pass. He's definitely getting a pass because the thing that he's not doing that all these other coaches are doing, that Matt LaFleur is doing, is he's not simplifying it. He's still trying to do his send the tight end in motion, have the running back orbit around, and yeah, it's brutal. Maybe you can have some hope and say Huntley with another week of practice or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, Achane's tough, dude.
Probably be fine in the long run, but yeah, looks bad right now. My top team, pretty cromulent team here. A Joe Burrow Purdy team, 5 healthy running backs. Really, the only maybe zero is Cleve Raymond, who, I mean, it's like not a pure zero, but Trey Tucker you feel good about, Yoshi Voss, Josh Downs, Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, this is just a pretty good team.
Yeah, and when
my top team is going to be some dusty bullshit with Herzig, I'm sure.
Derrick Henry, 40%. Saquon, 40%. Actually went down a little bit. Kamara,
I think Kamara and Henry together is 50%. Like an 89% advance rate.
Yeah. So those aren't holding, and those are obviously deflating.
They might.
Myself and many other users. Davis, you went up as well. And
wow,
what I want to look at
amazing
for here is
no Rashee Rice. There's like none.
Oh yeah. No Rice. But you do have Wicks. And let's go with Worthy.
Chase Brown or Worthy.
But these guys are major beneficiaries of injury. So, okay, these teams aren't advancing right now, but like this team,
but they're terrible.
Well, let's look at it. Josh Allen, Stafford, so you'll be fine at quarterback. Breece Hall, Montgomery, Chase Brown. Benson, man. Benson's killing a lot of people,
Benson's
myself
a super
included.
zero, yeah.
But like, okay, this running back room is enough to me. Drake London and Cup, that's a problem.
So bad.
Worthy, Coleman.
Yeah, this team is dead.
Yeah, this one maybe not.
Yeah.
This team's 48 points out. Unfortunately, a Puka team.
God, why do I even have one Jonathan Taylor team? So bad. Christian Watson, just you look at these teams. It's such the interstellar gif of like, what are you doing? You know, of just like, no, like what is Josh fucking Palmer doing on any team? Why do I have one Josh Palmer team? The Josh Palmer number should be 0.
I have I got way more wicks in DK. Here's my Reid plus Wicks teams.
Pretty good. Jordan Mason. Wow,
really shitty running back.
This one's got some legs.
Though. No, it's because it's really only Ramondre and Jordan Mason, and then like literally everyone else is a 0. So it's like a 2 RB team. This team has got Pacheco and Dameon Pierce. So no, we're not benefiting from that. Anything else you want to look on this?
Let's see if I have any Henry teams.
Okay.
I wonder if
I
wonder if I have one Derrick Henry team. It's probably from a stream. One non-advancing Henry team.
Yeah, but it might because it's got 2 guys.
No, look at those quarterbacks. No chance.
These guys are playing.
No, those are.
It's got Nico too. Waddle stinks. Cooper might. You have the double chief trade outs here with Cooper and Hopkins, and Leggett.
No, this team's ass.
Do I have any Henry teams? I don't think so. I do. My top drafters team is a Henry team. No Derrick Henry. No big dog for me. What's funny about Henry is like, even if he keeps it up all year, we know how game script dependent he is. The Ravens trail and all the Henry teams are getting knocked out. And I think a lot of people new to best ball don't understand that. Like the year I won BBM2, the guys who were mashing for everyone were the Bucs guys with Tom Brady. And then the Saints defense shut them down week 16. And so none of those teams advanced. Tom Brady still got there week 17, but no one had him, you know? And that's the game we play. Saquon, do you have any Saquon teams?
I think I have 2, maybe.
I have 5 Saquon teams, and I'm somehow only advancing one of them.
Yeah, I think because I would only ever take him in the 3rd round. Sure,
Davis, we're still advancing the team we drafted together on mine.
Wow, there we go.
Yeah,
so I actually the Barkley fade is like, you know, whatever. It is what it is. But the Kamara fade, I actually do legitimately feel bad about because it was just like, well, he was so cheap.
Yeah.
And like, what is meaningfully different between Kamara and Jalen Warren in terms of their ranges of outcomes? Like, not much. It's just that Kamara's 29. But what I mean by that is even if Kamara only had 8 good games, the same way Jalen Warren might only have 8 good games. And yeah, so the Kamara thing I feel bad about. The Henry thing is like, Derrick Henry is always going to have some big games. Just is what it is. But
I have 6% Kamara, so like I was more open to that one as far as just like
he was cheaper.
Yeah, exactly. This is the team we drafted together, Davis. Maybe this is our key to generational wealth this year. Goddard likely.
St. Brown. Herbert is a 0. May not a 0. May could get there.
Herbert's not a 0, man. Like he looked okay against the Chiefs.
They're never gonna utilize the forward pass.
ETN is 0, man. Like ETN feels very 0-ish. Like major busted cost.
I think he might end up actually having a good game this week. Ramondre is headed to the bench. Nico, huge win. Rashi's we'll see on Rashi. Addison win. Palmer
Okay, well, let's talk
0.
about that. Do you actually think he's returning, or is this just the Chiefs being weird?
So one of the guys in my Discord, Bolick, he went back and looked at every major knee injury. So like a guy drafted in fantasy or a star defensive player, and 10 times out of 10, within 24 hours, there was an announcement that they tore their ACL and they were out for the season. We are now, we're almost 72 hours, not quite, we're 65 hours since Rashee Rice suffered his injury. And there's been no announcement. And in fact, Nick Wright, big national media guy who's a Chiefs fan, is pretty plugged in, said on his YouTube show yesterday, he heard it was not an ACL tear. So what we are now all coping is that it's a bone bruise, is that it's just a really bad bone bruise. It's really swollen. And
his leg wasn't planted, which is like nice, right?
Obviously, 90% of the outcomes here are that he does not play again this season.
Which would be a bummer for the Rice drafters. Well, maybe this team's got some legs.
Well, it just sucks. The thing with the Rice thing is, we do these shows and all these fucking losers come in and they're like, I can't believe you didn't draft Derrick Henry. I can't believe you didn't draft Saquon Barkley. And obviously these same losers are the guys who were worried that Rashee Rice was going to be suspended, so they weren't drafting him. What sucks is to be obviously so correct and then not get paid. It's just one of those very frustrating things when you gamble, when you are correct.
Well, but that's where I wanted to tell you, like, maybe, okay, it's hard to know what is benefiting us at the time. So yeah, maybe you were going to win with Rice or Davis. Maybe you were going to win because of Xavier Worthy, who's your highest drafted player, and you were going to lose because someone took Rashee Rice in the 9th and 10th round, and you don't have as many of those teams. So you never know what's going to benefit you. Like this team. This is your advancing team with Worthy right now. Also has Saquon. Like, why can't this be the team that wins the contest for you?
Because it has Will Levis on it.
Well, it also has Justin Fields.
It has fucking Marvin Mims on it. What is wrong with me, dude? Oh, the neighbors team? Jalen Wright, J.K. Dobbins. Like, this team could be okay. This team
did not take Rice. It has instead Mari Cooper, who literally actually might be a Chief. So like you could have ran the gambit of no Rice, but Worthy. So
yeah, it's just
I don't know.
It's just very frustrating because this is far and away the most volume I've ever done. I'm doing all these streams. I got all these YouTube videos. Like it's just I'm having a different fantasy football experience this year than in years past because I am so public facing. Like 70% of my teams are drafted like with an audience,
It's different for me too, just because I'm bigger. Like, in years past, I don't think I had people being like, where's your Derrick Henry exposure? Or like someone's not like checking me on my advance rates. They're, they kind of understand. I've won 3 best ball contests. So like your advance rate is what it is. It's not necessarily the end all be all, whether you like to hear that or not. If you think it is, I recommend you play best ball cash games. That is a more appropriate game if you're strictly trying to advance, which I do not. Like I try to advance different structures of unique teams. Building 0 running back is the clear example of you don't build to advance. You build to build. You're trying to get a super team. Like I'm trying to get that team with Jordan Mason plus Zach Charbonnet plus whatever, And sometimes instead you land on Ray Davis.
Why do
Jalen
I have
Wright.
Brandon Cooks on this team?
Because it's a Dak team.
God, it's just embarrassing, dude, to have ever clicked Brandon Cooks for any reason.
This team's super live, man. You just got Ken Walker back.
Yeah, no, this team is live, but why does it'd be a lot more live if I took Xavier Legette instead of Brandon Cooks. I just hate
you did a Cowboys triple here.
Because I didn't have it even has CD. Jesus Christ.
Dude, Brandon Cooks is literally like he's the KJ Osborne, the Zay Jones of the playoffs, where
he has
nothing all year.
He has a knee infection right now.
Whatever. Week 15, he catches a touchdown, and you literally might need Brandon Cooks to advance out of your pod. Like, this is the game we are playing. Whether people, like, I'm sorry, but just because you scored a lot of regular season points doesn't mean you're the guy you need in the playoffs, period. It's not how it works. Zay Jones, Jerick McKinnon, KJ Osborne, MVS. These are past warriors of the fantasy playoffs. Just how it goes sometimes. Davis, anything else to look here? I'm going to jump into a resurrection draft.
Check how many teams I have with Worthy, Wicks, and Chase Brown.
Worthy, Wicks, Chase Brown. 4 teams, 0 for 4 currently.
That's heading in the right direction, I hope. Well, all right, never mind. We just looked at this team and it's fucking dead.
I'm trying to choose your one's closest to advancing.
That team is dead.
40 points.
Dead.
We're roughly 25% through the regular season, meaning you have 13 weeks, 40 points. You need to score 4 more points than the guy in first on average per week. And we know that that's not how it works in best ball. You either score 20 points more or 30 points less. It's a up and down game unless you just have
if you're drafting teams that way. Some people some people are just they're not correlating, they're not stacking. They're just I'm taking Derrick Henry and Alvin Kamara and I'm gonna win. You're a fucking nerd. Don't do that.
The dude the one dude shared his Derrick Henry team, and guess who else it has? It has Zay Jones. It had once we get to the bye weeks, some of these teams that are not built as good depth wise are gonna really suffer. So bye weeks are gonna change a lot of things. Anything else you want to look here, Davis?
No, I think that's it.
I guess some players I'm excited about. Let's say aiyuk, man. Aiyuk, I just need to score a touchdown. I thought it was a bad matchup last week, but still happy to have him. Do I have an aiyuk and reid? 2. This team's 8 points out. It's a Pacheco team. This team would have been sick without Pacheco, man. It's got Whittington, Wicks, Reid, Kupp, Amon-Ra Aiyuk. Maybe Rachaad White gets his job back. Who knows?
Maybe Isaiah Pacheco rises from the dead.
Were you a Bucky Bull?
I can't even really remember. I don't think so because he weighed 180 pounds.
Yeah, you drafted 6. I started the year into him, but then he just got more expensive than. Yeah, I got 10 teams of him. Anything else here, Davis, or should we resurrect it?
Let's resurrect it. I am too depressed, man.
Okay, I'm gonna have my resurrection rankings out tomorrow, ladies and gents. So if you're looking for that, I think you have until October 10th to enter this, but it will probably fill beforehand. Underdog, please give us 100K to first. Everyone's trying to draft in their fields. You probably have such an edge in these where people are just super overreacting to the first quarter of the season. Week. That's
exactly what people are doing.
This week's probably a great week to draft James Cook, where the Bills disappointed, or this week's a great week to draft. Probably Josh Allen. I don't know. Who's another star who disappointed this week?
Breece Hall, Bijan Robinson.
Yep. Those guys are probably pretty good picks I still think they're chilling in the first round, but
they are.
Weren't there 2 time controls for this, or am I wrong? Is there only one?
No, there was a 15-second and a 30-second.
Yeah, I didn't see that option. We pulled the 102. So I wouldn't be taking Saquon 101. I think my first round will probably go Lamb 1. Probably just give it to Jefferson at 2. Chase 3. Nico 4. Amon-Ra 5. Saquon 6. I don't know. Are you down with Saquon at 101?
No, Jefferson is the 101.
Where would you rank Saquon?
Jefferson, Lamb, Nico, Barkley, I think.
Yeah, I think people are they have the wrong takeaway of running backs smashing the first quarter of the season, where the wide receivers who actually do score are even more valuable.
They're way more valuable. Yeah. If every wide receiver scoring 11 points but 5 guys are scoring 22 points, you'd like to have some of those guys.
Yeah, and if I can get Ken Walker at pick 40, I'm not drafting Saquon at pick 1 still.
Yeah, the issue is that running back, now that we've seen these guys play, we've got evidence of them playing, is like running back completely dies at like running back 22.
Yeah, this is my first one driving. There's a lot of wide receivers to like deep too. Like Rashid Shaheed, Addison is mispriced.
There's not really that's the thing, is after pick 30, like every guy is bad. Every guy sucks.
Well, let's go with Lamb here. They took your guy, so not even a discussion.
Jacquard, he's a Jacquard, bro.
I'm gonna take a piss. Hold us down.
Yeah. There is CT Gunny asked in chat. No, there is nothing similar to the BBM DB for other contests. All right, first round goes Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Saquon Barkley, Nico, St. Brown. Yeah, it'll be sort of interesting. So when I did a couple of these last week, and people were really jamming the running backs, they were taking Breece Hall 103, Bijan Robinson 104. It was all running backs there. And this still will tilt more running back heavy. It's not going to look like a BBM board. Like, no one is going to go true 0 RB. No one is going to piss yellow. But it does feel like this contest is a pretty big edge. The issue is just the money involved. Rice last week was the 8th overall pick in these contests. So where you just saw AJ Brown go is where Rashee Rice was going. Honestly, probably too low. Yeah, I think Jaden Reed is probably a little bit too low drafted in these. But the issue with this contest is the amount of money to first. 30K to first, when I can draft 150 battle royales and have that slate pay out in a week. Like, I would like to grind this because people are really bad at this. You're going to see how bad people are at this.
Where would you draft Rashee Rice in this?
I wouldn't. I don't think
you wouldn't gamble in the 18th.
I bet he goes before that though.
I mean, like, this is like this is the time window, because we're gonna get confirmation, either positive or negative, soon. So either you're drafting a 0 or you're drafting a maybe playoff hammer.
Or maybe he only misses.
I'm still not down. Like, why are we taking JT at the 1-2 turn? Like,
yeah, people as always are losing the their
forest for the trees.
They're getting the wrong lesson out of watching football, which is just,
why are we drafting JT over Kyron? Like,
yeah,
that seems like anchoring bias to pre-draft ADP.
Yeah, big time. Jaden Reed, there you go. There's an example of someone learning ball.
Yeah,
like, I think that's a good adjustment.
Honestly.
Yeah, I think that is pretty justified. Because the thing with Reed was we didn't know what his time frame would be like. Like, we didn't know.
Why is Josh Allen now? Like, why is he a 4th round pick and now he's a 2nd round pick? Kind of surprised.
Because the wide receivers are worse. No one wants to take the wide receivers.
I think it's generational to get Cook here.
I definitely don't. I definitely take Debo, but do whatever you want.
I like Debo too. Debo's like one of the worst wideouts in open score, but the way I think about that is that's by design. Like, he runs routes to shrug off defenders. Like, his game is not getting wide open. It's sure, cover me, and then just like shrug them off. Here's another ADP that the market hasn't adjusted to correctly, and I am just gonna keep speaking until Jacardi takes a player.
This guy is an Olave drafter. That is,
yeah, like, all the wide receivers are fun, but I think you just take Ken Walker here.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a
good pick.
This is a guy who is going, like, Achane or Walker.
If Tua comes back in week 8, Achane. If Tua retires, Walker.
Walker also gets the Bears defense week 17. Easier to run on them than pass. But a lot of time for that to change. Derrick Henry, man, like he gets the like so easy to see that going wrong for him. Both him and Saquon. Like Saquon gets the Cowboys. If the Eagles fall out of that one, that doesn't strike me as a huge Saquon game. And the Ravens get the Texans. If the Texans come out and like throw an 80-yard bomb to Nico and then score, get a turnover, score again, Derrick Henry might not even be seeing the field.
The Henry thing just like so is what it is. Like I literally do not care. Like the Henry thesis is not any different than any other season that Henry has ever had. Like it's not like there's anything different about what Derrick Henry is doing this year versus what he's done any other year of his career.
Surprised the market still knows ball. Was kind of hoping aiyuk would fall more.
Yeah, dude, 167 yards through 4 games. He's fucking killing it.
He had 4 games less than 50 receiving yards last year. He's matched that total to start here. No, he'll be fine. Metcalf, yeah, I think Metcalf is a good call here.
It's like the biggest difference in their offense last year to this year is just like realizing they have DK Metcalf on the team.
Well, because they were doing like Cliff Kingsbury things to Metcalf, keeping him on one side of the field, and that that's changed. Like I think Metcalf is in the discussion ahead of these running backs. Same with Jaden Reed. Cooper Kupp. I'm not as enthralled on drafting these injured guys.
No, probably
I would approach it. I don't know about you. I mean, Puka's price is too cheap though in comparison.
Yeah, I'm out on being an injury optimist in general. Like I just don't like being an injury optimist. And I really should have learned my lesson when I was an injury optimist on Hollywood Brown, and then he had a surgery and he's out here. Deontay Johnson in the 4th round seems a smidgen of an
pretty big
overreaction
to me.
In half PPR, in full PPR, I could maybe kind of talk myself into it.
I'm not doing it. In half point, definitely not. Like
yeah, he just cannot score touchdowns, man.
He did it against the Bengals. Not a good defense at all.
I mean, he's clearly good. He's clearly good, and Dalton is it's like a pretty good stylistic fit. But
would a Leggett breakout be good or bad for Deontay in your mind?
Good, because Thielen is injured, so it would be good. And I think the Leggett breakout, I think it basically already happened. Like he's their second best wide receiver.
Yeah, he had a great game there.
All right, we got to take DJ Moore.
Oh man, let's look at the wideouts.
Moore or Worthy or Cooper.
Let's do Brian Thomas.
Definitely Cooper over Brian Thomas.
Okay, we'll do Brian Thomas first, and then we'll get another guy. I mean, what's not to like about Brian Thomas? He is breaking out. He has a super
the Bengals are one of those teams that just does not set themselves up to score points. Like the whole
the Jaguars are good at deep passing though. And Trevor missed a touchdown.
Well, Brian Thomas is just a great player.
Yeah, he is a spike week guy that also gets some layup targets. I think he looks awesome. He's a pretty big smash to me. I mean, Worthy I like. It is some wish casting. DJ Moore, it's like the targets are there, man.
Wait,
but
what's at tight end?
I think we pass here.
Oh, I would do one of the tight ends, but yeah, I don't.
I would much rather be buying Kincaid and Ferguson.
Sure.
How do you feel about Flowers?
Not great. I think
we'll do DJ Moore for the week 17 correlation with Ken Walker.
I think Flowers is completely unguardable and insanely good. But the Ravens, now that the defense is kind of figuring it out and they're so effective at running the ball, there are going to be a bunch of games where Lamar throws 17 passes.
No, I agree. I really like Flowers' talent. And in best ball, like maybe we should just not care and ride with that. And again, like the Texans game, profiles is more of like a back and forth shootout affair versus the Ravens just running the ball down the Texans' throat. But who knows? Worthy could be a smash, could be a disappointment. I think this is a nice price for T. Higgins. I think people thinking Brian Thomas is a bad pick there have not been watching football.
Kelsey pick is pretty good.
Yeah, that's a defendable pick. I don't like how many guys half point PPR if your players are not scoring touchdowns.
It's true. It's such a touchdown site.
Yes, like this is why I'm always like I like to draft players on good teams, and for Bowers to like really pay off a 4th round draft capital, he needs to score 7 touchdowns or just like be getting 80+ yards a game.
The thesis for tight ends is the scoring requirements at tight end are different.
I think like I have no idea why the market is giving us Kittle, Kincaid, Ferguson in the 6th and 7th round, but still pricing this group of relative disappointments in the 4th and 5th. Seems like a huge overreaction to me.
Yeah. I think I can get down with that. I don't know. It's close. What do you think about that JSN over a Cooper? That feels terrible to me.
Yeah, I mean, people were anointing the JSN breakout. That seems not true, right? But I don't know, man. Amari Cooper, like, is Amari Cooper not trying? Or is he dust? Because, like, one of the worst wide receivers in ESPN Open Score, not good in fantasy points, separation score either, I believe. So both him and Adams, it's like, are they doing this because they don't care? Or are they doing this because they're legitimately done? I'd rather have Zay Flowers than both of those guys, JSN and Cooper.
I was gonna say I side on Cooper still being Amari Cooper.
Yeah, I mean he had a touchdown wiped out last week. Shouldn't have volleyed the ball to the defense when it hit him in the chest.
No, that was just a weird play, right?
I mean, it was a lack of concentration by Amari Cooper.
How concentrated would you be? If you were,
no, but like what you're inherently saying is you're forgiving him for the situation of the Browns.
100%.
I'd be pretty effing concentrated if it was my job was to catch footballs and a ball was being thrown to me.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
What would I be thinking about? I'd be thinking about what I'm gonna have for lunch or something. Like,
yeah, you're going, dude. I need dinner, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. Is Deshaun Watson benched this year? Yes or no?
I think no, because everyone involved in that organization is like too invested in the lie. You know what I mean?
If they lose again, they almost have to. Like they've lost to the Giants and the Raiders, and it's like their defense is still doing shit. So
yeah, I mean they are going to zero as a group, but I think what I'm saying is they're just all invested. They're just all invested in the lie. They're all invested in, we're gonna figure it out. It's gonna be okay. All that stuff.
I think Aaron Jones is a pretty solid pick.
Aaron Jones is a really good pick, yeah. Sorry, I'm having to set my Champions League lineups. I forgot to do these earlier.
Very unprofessional of you.
Very unprofessional of me. That's kind of early for Love because I feel like
I get it. I mean, actually, never mind. I thought it was the Jaden redrafter. It's a total donkey thing to do what this guy did.
Yeah, he's not gonna. The thing is, he's not gonna run at all.
I guess he's doing it to take Wicks at pick 77.
Sure.
Let's take Ferguson. Build our Cowboys thing out.
That feels early for Ferguson. I mean, I know
what is the functional? Ferguson is Bowers, but his offense is going to throw for touchdowns.
Yeah, I definitely don't believe
he's not Bowers. Okay, Bowers will eventually be tight end 1. I just don't think it's his rookie year with a shitty quarterback.
I think sometimes fantasy football can be as simple as just take players who are really, really good and they'll figure it out. And that is what I think.
I think fantasy football can be as simple as take the players on the good teams who throw for touchdowns and things are going to be okay. And if you
Jonathan Brooks is a really, really good pick.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good pick. And if you wish cast touchdowns, like, how did it work out in the past for like the DJ Moore at the 1-2 turn guys when he had Sam Darnold? Not so hot.
I don't think he was like a 3-4 turn guy, right?
I think Pickens is a pretty solid pick now.
Like Pickens is a really good pick, and that can we can set that
up. I'm not
a
Pickens guy, but Fields. I'm not a Pickens guy, but like round 7, killing ESPN Open Score, he seems to be breaking out this year more so than in the past. Do you think Fields gets people were saying rumblings of like, oh, Russell Wilson's calf has never been healthier after the Steelers were losing big, and then they came storming back. And so my question to you is, do you think if the Steelers lose some games, is Fields a legitimate bench risk? They're still like saying shit.
There's no way you can tell that locker room, oh, we're benching Justin Fields for this fucking kook, Russell Wilson. I just feel like Mike Tomlin can't look his guys in the eye and be like, you know what? Justin Fields has got us at to 3-1. He has this insanely good running game. Arthur Smith finally was letting him do some read and react, like read what the defense is doing and take off if you want to type stuff. Feels I don't know, less than 10% that they bench him. And Tomlin's just going to do this all year. He's going to be like, we're preparing like Justin's the starter. That's it. He's never going to bench Russell Wilson.
Justin Fields, you mean?
No, he's never gonna bench Russell Wilson. He's never gonna say Russ is not the QB1. He's never gonna say it.
Oh, he's never gonna. Okay.
Fields is gonna start.
We're gonna be week 17, and he's gonna be like the calf is.
They're gonna be in a wild card game, against the Chargers or whatever, against the Bengals, and they're gonna say, Russ is working as hard as he can.
I guess it's like strategically, you want teams to have to game plan for what if Russ is at QB versus Fields.
What's his name? LaFleur kept doing this with Willis, where he was like, Jordan Love, he's limited. He's limited, bro. He's limited.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I don't know. I have doubts defenses are even like, are you throwing on the Russell Wilson tape? You want some down bad stat that I saw tweeted out? Russell Wilson over the past 15 games versus Patrick Mahomes. Russell Wilson's averaging more fantasy points than Mahomes. Where is Mahomes going to go in this? Let's see. He still has not gone. ADP of 60. So he's falling. And I mean, yeah, like who's going to want to draft him other than the Worthy drafter or the Kelsey drafter? I guess you could backdoor him with like Justin Watson. Wicks fell all the way here. Pretty bad by the Jordan Love drafter not to snap him up in my mind.
Yeah, that seems insane. Wicks should be like
I didn't realize Kirk was still on the board. Kirk's like one of the top expected fantasy points guys. He should be fine. And has trade outs.
Yeah, he's gonna be screwed when he gets traded to the Chiefs and just run blocks all game though.
Well, the Chiefs are known for that. Keon Coleman, solid pick. Shakir, solid pick. McConkey, solid pick.
Did Mahomes just go unstacked there?
Yep.
Seems bad. Because there's Mahomes is never getting there unstacked.
I guess he QB sneaks it 3 times against the Steelers.
God, yeah, that game. Well, maybe that if Fields is playing, that game could be fun, I guess.
We don't need to take Dak on the turn, but seeing as people are just doing whatever they want in this draft, let's just secure a stack here.
Yeah, I agree. What's Fields' ADP?
115, which puts him in the 10th round. We could rip him here if there's no one you feel super great about. Let me look at it though. There are some players I still feel good about.
There are a couple, yeah. Very few wide receivers, but there are a couple running backs who I think are good clicks here. There's actually a secret running back that you have to scroll down for. Wicks already went. He went.
There's 2 wide receivers I feel, maybe 3 I feel good about, and then running back, there's several.
There is one running back that I think is an obvious click here.
Well, I know who you want. You want Braylon probably.
No, I think Chase Brown is the. I think Chase.
I think
Brown.
he's fine. I like Charbonnet. I like Ford. I like Braylon. Wideout. I like Hopkins. I like Leggett.
I like Leggett. It'd be Leggett or Chase Brown for me.
Well, let's play the hits. Why not?
I mean, if I told you a month ago that Chase Brown scored 2 touchdowns inside the 1 yard line, you'd have been like, Chase Brown's a 3rd round pick or whatever.
Yeah, but like, yeah, this is something I like anticipated though, that in a game that the Bengals were going to dominate, they're afforded the opportunity to get Chase Brown going, and it's fair to question how sticky it will be. I think the Bengals could look at themselves and say, we need this explosive playmaker on the field. They could also look at themselves and like, in a tougher matchup and be like, no, we need Moss's pass
Moss
blocking.
is going to get the thing that happens about that ruins that logic a little bit. I think we actually saw it against the Chiefs, which is the offense was just begging for a play. And if you've got Zach Moss out there, you're not going to get the play. You're not going to get a 17-yard explosive out of nowhere. You got to give those carries to Chase Brown. Now, Moss is for sure going to play all the long down and distance, and he will. I would make Moss a minus 150 favorite to receive more touches inside the 5 yard line than Brown. But Brown leads the NFL in yards per carry. Like he pretty clearly is the most.
It goes both ways as far as short yardage. Like sometimes teams want the more explosive guy because you literally only need, like you just need to get the pile moving. And Chase Brown is unquestionably more explosive. Zach Moss is going to play in this league for a long time for what he does well. He pass blocks. He gets what's blocked. He is fine as a pass catcher. So I don't know how it's going to play out. I drafted both of them, and I think humility there was pretty good. The Cowboys picks are much like Rico should not be going close to Chase Brown because Hunter Luepke is now.
Yeah, Hunter Luepke should be getting drafted in these.
No, like he's a waiver wire guy for me this week.
He's running back 80 in these. I did one of these on Monday, and he doesn't really get drafted.
Yeah, I'm like picking him up in the FFPC because he not only is their 2-minute drill back, which is a huge fantasy boost, but he's like getting like legitimate like 15-yard receptions. We don't see a lot of running backs doing that, and just like a major bummer. Like if Rico was getting that, he's a smash. I still think Ford's a good pick because if the Browns are 1-7, are they rolling out Nick Chubb this year?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Chubb will want to play. I mean, he's really the only, like, signing Nick Chubb to this goodwill deal is like the only thing that the team has done that fans have liked the entire last 2 years. Like Chubb is playing. In fact, his practice window just got activated today.
This is absurd. Maybe it's not.
No. Well, I mean, I wonder, like, if I set the line at 25 half PPR fantasy points the rest of the way for Juwan Jennings, you take an over or under? I might take under.
Yeah, I mean, like, especially with Ricky Pearsall is going to play.
I think he's going to get activated next week. That's what it sounds like.
I think there are 2 really good picks here. Would you rather have Njoku or Evan Ingram?
Njoku, I think. They're just so heavy in pass rate over expectation.
Yeah. I still have faith that Trevor can turn it around to some extent. But yeah, I mean, Njoku and Ingram being 10th and 11th round picks versus, I mean, first off, they shouldn't be going after Kyle Pitts. They shouldn't be going after Hawkinson. And it makes these picks worse to me. Because I mean, these guys feel like solid picks, you know.
Who are you saying feels like solid picks? Njoku and Ingram?
Yeah, just because they've been injured, and they're both close to returning. QJ feels like a pretty terrible pick. He could lose his job to DJ Chark. And the Chargers' pass game thesis seems significantly worse.
Yeah, Chargers are a team I'm like almost all the way out on, but except for Vidal, I feel like Vidal is like a sneaky gainer because Gus has just been so bad. He's been so bad.
I think Myers and Judy are both great picks. Myers gets the boost from Adams being traded as well. Judy is just doing it. Who do you prefer?
Judy or I don't know. I like Jalen Tolbert actually.
No. Take one of these two.
Judy.
Okay. I don't know. Like Jakobi Meyers is going to go up in ADP. I'm not saying he should. Jakobi Meyers probably scores more touchdowns than Brock Bowers this year.
Jakobi Meyers scores more touchdowns than Bowers?
Yeah, he probably
it's so easy for tight ends to score touchdowns. And Bowers is gonna get some carries and stuff too. You're probably
I agree there.
You probably didn't watch Bowers' college tape. You don't know that he scored. I think he scored 6 rushing touchdowns.
Oh, I know he could end arounds and whatnot, but I mean, do you think I think it's a little wish casting to just assume Bowers is going to be the target dominant pass catcher if Adams is traded. Myers is probably the number 1 there. And then Bowers is like 1B and Trey Tucker is the 2.
Yeah, Trey Tucker is a good pick in this. Trey Tucker is
Anthony Richardson still available? I didn't know that. I would have drafted him.
Oh, really God. Thinking. Yeah, shit. I was not locked in either.
Yeah, okay. Anthony Richardson should not go up after the following list of quarterbacks. He should not go after probably Justin Fields, who has bench risk. He should not go after Sam Darnold. He should not go after Geno. He should not go after Baker Mayfield. He should not go after Jared.
Maybe after Geno.
No, he should not go after
Geno is playing better. Geno has a
very solid median projection, but in terms of actually winning you real world dollars, Anthony Richardson has a far greater chance to go for 40 points and be the reason why you win 30 grand than Geno does. Especially when Geno plays the Bears and Anthony Richardson plays the Giants.
Sure. Yeah.
Taking Geno over Anthony Richardson is pure advance rate mine. To me.
What if Anthony Richardson is injured in weeks 15, 16, and 17?
Yeah, okay. I mean, sure. Like, were you the guy fading CMC 101 that year for JT because of the injury history?
No, I never fade guys who are injury prone. I fade them after injuries. Until Hollywood Brown. So fucking annoying.
He would have been a de facto smash at this point.
He would have been a smash. This is I think ultimately the thing I didn't adjust on enough was like they actually planned on Hollywood being a huge part of the offense. And then when he got hurt, they were kind of screwed. Yeah. Taysom is too.
Kraft should go over Mark Andrews. Kraft should
definitely go ahead of Mark Andrews.
Probably. I don't think he should go over Ingram and Njoku. But maybe. I think I wrote in my waiver wire piece that he's just like a top 12 tight end the rest of the way.
Yeah. I mean, what would be stopping him?
He might outscore even Hawkinson if Hawkinson returns. I think it's fair to question what Hawkinson will be. This is an insult. Absolutely not. He is not the Alan Kessler. For people who know who Alan Kessler is.
The chainsaw?
Yeah, the chainsaw.
I've seen Jason's comments before. I don't think he understands my bit. I don't think he gets it.
We both have different types of haters.
Yeah. Mostert is an okay pick.
Chainsaw. Dude, you see the chainsaw won $1 million off of slots?
Off of slots, yeah.
He I think he was in to the machine for like 13 grand. How rich is this guy? Like,
maybe, I mean, maybe he, let me see the running back tab.
Man, it is.
This is what I told you. I think Kareem Hunt is a good pick here.
I think Mostert's returning next week.
Yeah, on a dumbass team.
All right, fuck running back. Let's get a wide out.
Jalen Tolbert. Got to take Tolbert.
Mike Williams, man. He's a better pick.
He's definitely not a better pick, dude.
I like Tolbert, but I don't know. I still think like we have Lamb and Ferguson on this team. I don't think we need to super stack.
What are we going to do for our second quarterback?
We're going to take Trevor. We're going to plug our nose and take Trevor.
Yeah, that's right.
Unless you'd rather have Rodgers.
No, I'd rather bet on.
Caleb just went.
I'd rather bet on the Jaguars just like figuring something out.
I see. Yeah, just like the Bengals, I think the Jags are going to figure it out. Like, I'll pull up the Jags schedule here. This is a pretty good team, man. Cook, Walker, Chase Brown, Ferguson and Njoku done at tight end.
Mike
Prescott
Williams is such a zero. Why did we just take Mike Williams?
Why? How is Mike Williams a zero when he's literally playing more than people expected at this rate and is starting to like look good?
Lazard is playing the role that we thought.
He is gonna go to zero as Mike Williams trends up.
And they're trading for Devontae Adams, bro. Haven't you heard?
I have my doubts there, but maybe. Let's pull up the Jaguar schedule. Isn't it ridiculous that the Jaguars get back-to-back games in London? So they get to stay an extra week in London and get this like home field advantage.
I just don't know if it's that. I just don't know if it's that much of an advantage because they're going to be fucked for like the next month once they get back here. Their circadian rhythm is going to be so off.
There's got to be drawbacks too. Okay, so
Colts. If you go for 1 week, you can stay on your American time schedule and be fine. If you go for 3 weeks, you can't.
Colts got to win that one for the Jags. Bears, this is the like which quarterback can get it together game. Patriots got to win that one. Packers, tough. Eagles, maybe winnable. Vikings, tough. So I don't know. Maybe if the Jags can win like their next 3, be 3-4. Maybe they don't trade anyone. Really, it's not even like them losing games. Like they shouldn't have lost to the Dolphins. They probably should have won that Houston game too. Played them tough.
That's what the Jaguars do, man. They lose games that they're not supposed to. Yeah,
well, and then it's like the bigger thing is like Trevor looks like he's regressing. So I don't know what is up with that. You know, like what in your mind is Trevor's problem?
That he was never as good as he's supposed to be. And the offense is just too static. Like no one moves. It's always like Trevor Lawrence, you have to hit this perfect throw in this perfect window. It's the lack of motion. Lack of motion, lack of dynamic route concepts. Yeah, like it's just a mess.
Pacheco's a pretty terrible pick, right?
Yeah, Pacheco's a zero. Pacheco has the same injury that Pollard had. And Pollard was bad a year removed.
Yeah, this is absurd, but
yeah, I would take every other Chiefs running back over Pacheco. I just wouldn't take Pacheco. I think he scores 0 points. I don't think he plays.
I think Roshan's pretty solid. Tank's pretty solid. Both these guys could take over their team's RB1 role here soon. I think like. Are people watching football drafting Courtland Sutton? Is the hope that Bo Nix is going to start completing passes down the field?
Dude, he's got great peripherals.
Someone wrote that in the chat. I mean, I'd rather have Hopkins. I'd rather have Leggett. I'd rather have Darnell Mooney. I'd rather have Jerry Jeudy, Tyler Lockett.
Lockett is a pretty interesting one because
I'd rather have Jacoby Myers than Courtland Sutton.
Yeah. I'd rather have Jacoby Myers. I'd have Palmer. Palmer is a zero. Just wouldn't take that guy at all.
Yeah, he's pretty zero-ish. Jalen Polk, I think, is a good pick. Where did Blake Corum go? Are people just done with that? Yeah, he's still on the board. My God.
I mean, Corum's probably a good pick because the thesis really hasn't changed.
No, yeah, like
he's just like a supreme handcuff.
People are cutting him. I mean, I guess it's fair to question if he is, because maybe Ronnie Rivers would just get the workload, but he only played on special teams last week, man. Like it's not great, but I have to believe if Kyren were to get hurt, Corum would see the field.
Yeah, man. He's also got some outs of like the team is just ass. Like if they're totally out of it, Corum plays like that. That's a small part of the out, but it's still an out.
Yeah, I don't know. McVay might be like, the only thing we can hang our hat on is Kyren Williams getting
Kyren Williams, baby.
11 touchdowns.
Kyren Williams is on my fantasy team. I'm getting him a touchdown every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rodgers still here. I don't think we need a third quarterback though.
No.
Do you like the Raiders backup?
Dylan Laube? No, I like Kareem Hunt.
Jahmyr White. Corum's here. Jalen Wright's here.
Kareem Hunt.
Emmanuel Wilson's here.
Hunt is the pick.
Trey Sermon. Kareem Hunt's gone. Choose one of these four.
Corum.
Okay. Emmanuel Wilson is like plain. So like he's a pretty solid pick in the sense that he's going to give us points. He might get benched for Marshawn Lloyd.
Yeah, we should take Pirine next.
He's pretty solid. Where did Kareem Hunt go? My God, how early did he go? 11th round.
It's honestly probably fair.
See, Jacardi's been listening. That's why I waited the clock.
You know, if his Alexander Madison, Hunter Henry team is what you
if you're gonna try to hate, you got to call me the Phil Hellmuth, dude.
Yeah, that is a much more
because Phil Hellmuth won championships, man.
Yeah,
he wins the bracelets. Pirine, I'm fine with. I mean, Trey Sermon, Jonathan Taylor, high ankle sprain. Even for like
Trey Sermon's been in the NFL since 2021. He has 2 touchdowns. He's never had more than 89 yards in a game.
Samaje Pirine also stats are not great the past couple of years. No, it's fine.
He led all running backs in the NFL in targets per route run and yards per route run.
He's a good receiving back. Not that the Chiefs are going to pass the ball at all. I mean, is Sermon going to be chalk this week at DFS with no JT?
Not on my rosters, but yeah, he probably will be.
No, I'm not. I mean, he's 5,700.
I mean, he is the same thing as Cam Akers. Like, sure, you can put him out there and try and give him the ball, but he's not going to generate any points.
I think you have more hope than Cam Akers because, I mean, one, Sermon is an uber athletic guy. Not that we've ever seen that on the field. And he did win the RB2 job. Like, he beat out Evan Hull. He beat out Goodson. These are positives for maybe a late something clicking late.
I don't know if beating out Evan Hull and Tyler Goodson really means all that much.
I mean, Evan Hull was pretty Chase Brownie, dude. Like, they were both similar draft picks, similar athleticism. Jordan Whittington is a fine pick. I think Tutu Atwell's still a solid pick. Like, he probably retains his role.
Whittington actually did just play the Cooper Kupp role last week, which I didn't really think was possible after week 3, but he did. He just played that role.
But that would be bad for Whittington in the sense that if Kupp and Puka return, Tutu can still play his deep A-dot role, and Whittington is just a backup to them.
I mean, I think that is almost certainly the case. Like, I think that is almost exactly this. He's a handcuff wide receiver who will never be on the field when Kupp or Nakua is back because they prefer Robinson is in his role. Tyler Johnson is the Tyler Johnson.
I think if Puka and Kupp return, the 3 wide receiver set will be Tutu, Puka, Kupp, unless they want DeMarcus Robinson out there to block.
Yeah. The DeMarcus Robinson thing. Like, it's like, yeah.
No, I'm cutting him in places. Like he's a zero.
Who could have predicted that a guy who's been bad for 8 years would also continue to be bad?
He had a good run, man. Like it was box score chasing.
He did have a nice 4-game run one time. It's true.
Yeah.
No one can take it away from him.
One time last year. It was last year he had this run.
He did score. He once had 160 yards and 2 touchdowns in a game with Mahomes.
Well, yeah, that was a while ago. Who was the Byron Pringle? Like Pringle? Remember that guy? He did it for years as well. He went Bronco Joe's listening. He went
to Kansas State University. He went to my alma mater. Man, you know what would be brutal is if Devontae Adams gets traded to Pittsburgh. That would be bad.
Why would? Yeah, like the Steelers fans who are like, yeah, trade us for Devontae. Like what? So that he can't get thrown to. Now Justin Fields did throw for 300 yards last week, but took a trailing game script for that to occur.
Sure. Yeah, awesome. Patty Millions did get Pringle paid. He got a nice little contract from Ryan Poles when he was.
I think the Commanders should trade for Devontae Adams. Like the Cowboys or the Commanders should do it to me.
Correct. Yeah. People are saying Tyreek Hill just sent a tweet. Tyreek Hill woke up to trade news exciting.
Really? He tweeted that?
Tyreek Hill tweeted, woke up to trade news exciting.
Wow.
Tyreek, why are you waking up at 12:47 local time?
So, I mean, you have to read this as a trade to the Chiefs, right?
Or they're trading for Joe Flacco or Carson Wentz or something.
Oh, no, he's not excited about maybe Jameis?
Maybe Jameis, maybe
Trevor
Lawrence? No, I'm trying to think. Maybe Tyrod Taylor from the Giants, maybe?
No, brother, he's not tweeting.
Or not Giants. Where's Tyrod?
Is Tyreek so starved for engagement that he's engagement baiting us for a Tyrod Taylor trade? No.
Yes.
Bryce Young. Here, I think we can run a poll if you go into YouTube. Let's make a pick here. I mean, Jahmyr White's gonna score some fantasy points. No, let's do Lupke.
Yeah, that's good. That's good for the bet. Yeah, Jimmy G. Someone in the chat just said Jimmy G. Jimmy G. We take that. Jimmy G. Watching Jimmy G play would be like manna from fucking heaven.
What about Stafford, man? Do you think they trade Stafford?
No. Stafford is owed like $1 gajillion. Like I believe Stafford is NFL QB contract Spotrac. It's like a completely absurd contract. Matt Stafford.
Kamani, really solid pick.
Stafford, yeah, he is. Stafford, $40 million. So that's actually not as bad as I thought. Why did I think it was so big? Maybe it's got crazy. Maybe it's got crazy.
What's your vibe on Keaton Mitchell? Pretty similar.
Super zero. Justice Hill's playing this well. He is a super zero. We need a wide receiver. What about
Jalen Wright? Let's do Wright and do wide receiver, or let's do one more running back and then a wide receiver next.
Yeah, Jalen Wright for sure.
Okay.
Keaton Mitchell is break glass in case of emergency if Justice Hill can't play, and Justice Hill is having the best year of his career.
Yes, but Keaton Mitchell was beating Justice Hill for that job when he was healthy, so I agree. Justice Hill looks really
Justice
good.
Hill is now 3 years removed from the Achilles.
Yeah, but Justice Hill looks really good. But if I knew Keaton Mitchell was healthy, I think Keaton Mitchell would win that job. But it's super fair to question that. Is Keaton Mitchell going to be healthy? Let's ask the people.
What's the deal? What's going on with Tyreek Hill?
Daniel Jones? Is he getting stoked for Daniel Jones trade?
No, that's another thing where it's too much money.
Kirk Cousins.
Way too much money.
Yeah, that's Andy Dalton, dude. I'd be stoked to have the red rifle.
No chance. Why would it would never happen.
Marcus Mariota.
Russell
Wilson. Russell Wilson. Russ Wilson is a feasible trade.
Russell Wilson is making no money. Super easy to do. He would love to play.
And the Steelers are going to have to, I think, send the Bears a 4th-round pick if Justin Fields plays more than half their games. So trading Russell, you can recoup that pick at the worst. Yeah, it's got to be either Russ. Now, I personally think Tyreek would be more excited for himself to be traded, right? Like than getting a quarterback. Like, or do you think is Tyreek bought into the Dolphins doing well this year? Probably not.
Tyreek doesn't care about any of that stuff, though. He just likes to get his numbers. Tyreek had the opportunity to win infinity Super Bowls and play with the greatest quarterback alive.
The Chiefs chose to keep Chris Jones and co, which like Chris Jones is a monster. Like they just prioritize different pieces.
He could have made less money.
Yeah, I mean, he could have been paid significantly less, but he couldn't The Chiefs chose to get rid of Tyreek.
And honestly, in my mind, like I would try. I think I'd rather have Tyreek on the team and be like an 11-win team.
Like
it's just Liam, it's very hard to understand like what it's like watching Mahomes be this version of himself. It's sad. It really is sad to watch them win this way.
They shouldn't have even won that game. Like the Chargers should have beat
the peak of this season was their 2nd touchdown. Was the worthy end around, and it's all been downhill from there.
You got that worthy deep bomb. That had to have felt good after the Rice injury.
It didn't. I was so depressed about the Rice thing that I was like, oh great, a 60-yard touchdown. Great.
I mean, that feels good still. Kendrick Bourne, I think, is a good pick. He's gonna return soon, I think.
Yeah, Kendrick Bourne is a good pick. Yeah, like how would you feel if Josh Allen just started fucking playing like Gardner Minshew overnight? It'd be like, dude, what are we even doing?
That would feel very bad.
Mahomes has a worse ADOT than Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, I mean,
the only thing he has going for him is that he doesn't get sacked. That's it. That's all. That's the only thing that he's doing right now that is above average.
He might start running more too. Like he always runs more when the games are important. And I did see him run some in that Chargers game, which is like good for.
It's not going to be enough. Like, okay, maybe he adds 2 points a game or something.
3 points a game. That helps though. Like that's like,
And they don't run him anywhere near the goal line because they don't want 500-pound guys landing on top of him.
Okay, this is just incorrect by the market. Curtis Samuel has been injured. He is a great pick.
He's a good pick.
We finished with the Dak Trevor team. Cook, Walker, Brown, Corum, Pirine, Hunter Luepke, Jalen Wright, CeeDee Lamb, Brian Thomas, DJ Moore, George Pickens, Jerry Jeudy, Mike Williams, Curtis Samuel, Jake Ferguson, David Njoku. I think Curtis Samuel is a good guy to pick up on waivers too. Because, again, if Shakir misses time this week, what are the Bills going to do? Build the plane out of, Mac Hollins and MVS receptions? Impossible. Got to name this bad boy.
Wow, Neighbors, no practice 6 days after.
That's not surprising. Concussion was pretty bad for him. I think he'll play, but I'm not surprised he's not practicing yet.
No, if you don't practice on Wednesday with a concussion, you're not playing.
No, I think the goal is to get him on the field tomorrow or Friday. And if not, honestly, if you look at the Neighbors routes on All Pro, he's awesome, but he's also getting absolutely lit up on him. So the Giants might just be prioritizing Neighbors, who's far more important to their future than Daniel Jones. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. I'm going to go celebrate my birthday. Be sure to like the video. Be sure to subscribe. Check out Liam Teaches Chess if you want a different type of content. Davis, anything you want to say to the people?
Yeah, the DFS video will be out on my channel tomorrow. I will be streaming some BRs Thursday afternoon. I'll be streaming with Reebs Friday morning. I'll be streaming with Big T Friday afternoon, and the Fantasy Football Countdown show on Sunday morning. All that good stuff. Liam, I need to sit down and I need to teach you about Canva, bro. we gotta up your thumbnail.
Let's pull up what Ron Stewart tweeted out. This is my thumbnail. I thought it was pretty nice. And
Liam,
the thumbnail is insane. You got Walker looking like Soul Surfer.
It's pretty good. Liam, we have to cook up a pick'em.
Oh yeah. We're not doing the Diggs revenge game. We're not doing that.
So you don't like free money?
It's not a good bet. That's why we're not doing it. All right, Davis, you got the floor. Who do you want?
Justin Jefferson. The Vikings play this week? 80 receiving yard. I don't love the matchup. Whatever. Take the touchdown.
You're worried about Sauce Gardner?
Yeah, take the touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, Derrick Henry, dude. Let's just play the hits. These guys score touchdowns every single week.
Single week.
Negative.
That's a good line.
Honestly, it is a smash spot against the Bengals because what the Bengals struggle to do is the Bengals struggle to tackle. So if you struggle to tackle against the big dog, that's the Bills. Maybe we do like longest rush or
touchdown.
Touchdown, but we're getting a negative multiplier. We're not doing a negative multiplier.
We got
I said longest rush and it went up a yard.
We got the plus multiplier with Jefferson, so it's fine.
Whatever. Touchdown. Davis.
Is Tyrone Tracy, does he have anything up?
He's one of the least efficient dudes too. No.
Singletary's banged up.
Sermon might have some low lines though. No.
Kenneth Walker. What does Kenneth Walker have?
He's a smash.
Touchdown. Yeah, touchdown.
We're just paying negative juice on all these.
All
right, let's go with James Cook. He's my favorite play from the Bills game. Touchdown. Let's go touchdown on him.
Thinking Nico. What do we got for Nico?
I don't love the matchup with outside receivers. I mean, he's just like an absurd fantasy talent.
Yeah, touchdown.
Okay.
Come on, dude. Use your
why are the Bills being bet as road favorites? Because the market doesn't believe in the Texans as much as we did in the pre. Let's see if we get any Lupke lines. Hunter Lupke. It's 10x multiplier. We got to, yeah.
We got to.
Yeah, shit.
Max entry multiplier has been reached. So by the way, if you do 6, you can still win even if the Lupke doesn't hit when you do 6.
Oh wait, so if it's a max, does that mean we should remove one and see if our odds change? Like
no, it just means you can't add a greater multiplier than that.
Okay. $10. I'm doing
that's
5.
all I ever do. Wow, 5. What a nit.
All right, fine. 10.
I'm teasing you.
I just don't believe in the Jefferson and Nico one is the problem for me. I do believe in the Henry one. I believe in the Walker one. I believe in the Cook one. I believe in the Lupke one. By the way, guys, if you tailed my favorite pick'ems is to do the quarterback rushing yards. The final pick'em line was Jared Goff reception touchdown or rushing touchdown. That part cashed. Did not cash on the Aaron Rodgers under rushing yards though. God damn it, man.
It's always got to do it on your phone.
I got it in on Sunday morning one time, so I was going to try it.
You just have to refresh sometimes. It's hard to say.
Does Lupke have vulture protection? Davis, what do you think there?
He should. You can definitely tell that they're starting to price in the vulture protection into the lines. Yeah, you're gonna have to do it on your phone.
Does Lamar scoring a rushing touchdown count as vulture protection?
No, it doesn't. It's only non-quarterbacks. So it's like if Xavier Worthy scores a rushing touchdown, then Kareem Hunt gets it or whatever.
Okay, so it's got to be Rico. All right, so we got Nico, Jefferson. We got Lupke for that good old 10x multiplier. Oh no, Lupke's not showing up on the phone.
Are you spelling it wrong? If you just type in underdogfantasy.com instead of refreshing, Peppertoni is saying that works.
Like if I go to underdogfantasy.com?
Like if you just do this instead of refreshing. It's hard to say.
Boom. Thank you, Peppertoni.
There we go.
All right. I don't know if this will show for Davis's chat.
It will. It shows up in both.
Yeah,
I think.
I don't know if it'll show on Davis's end, but here is
copy
the
and paste and put it in your Discord too.
Okay. I could have private.
You don't have it open. You don't have it open on your desktop.
No, because I don't know how to turn off the bings. And
wow,
so,
you are a boomer.
Yeah, I'm 32, brother.
I'm 32.
My
I didn't know I was older than you.
My NFL prime is over. I think 32.
I didn't know I was older than you.
Yeah, just turned 32. I'm like the oldest you could be in my grade if people didn't like stay back.
Yeah, I was the youngest. I was the absolute youngest.
So you were a grade above me?
Yeah. I graduated high school in 2010.
This is the line, guys, we did. If you want to actually win money, don't do the Jefferson one, don't do the Nico one, but these other four are mortal locks. Davis, anything else to say?
I'm trying to answer the start set question. FF Doom, ask me that in Discord. You remember, you can ask me in Discord. I can't think right now. No, that's it. Liam, thanks for having me, buddy. I hope you have a great birthday. Hope you have a nice big fat. I was gonna say I hope you have a nice big fat steak for dinner. But
fish, brother. I'm getting fish tonight.
I hope you have a nice big
mahi. Mahi is my favorite fish.
Yeah.
The good old dolphin fish. All right, guys. Touch some grass, breathe some air. If you're tilting in best ball, just breathe. Breathe for a little bit. Advance rates are going to change. Everything's going to be okay. Or not, and you'll all lose in the end. Hopefully you have a great week of football, kicking things off with a shitty Thursday night game of Bucks, Falcons, classic. Peace out. Check out Liam Teaches Chess. Peace.